Hello, everyone, and welcome to 55 Questions with the Scout Guide Huntsville. I am Dwaynia Wilkerson, owner of Prose and Pens and contributing editor for the Scout Guide Huntsville. Today, it is my pleasure to have Angelica and Susanna of Pure Barre Huntsville. So I'm excited to learn more about them and Pure Barre. And before we jump into our 55 questions, ladies, tell us a little bit about your business.
Okay, so I'm Susanna.
I'm Angelica.
And we own Pure Barre Huntsville together. And Pure Barre Huntsville is a boutique fitness gym here in Huntsville that focuses on blending yoga and Pilates and a little bit of traditional workout elements and ballet elements together. And we've been doing this together in some sense for over 10 years, and we've owned the business for 6 now.
Okay, thank you. So with that introduction, we're going to hop right into our 55 questions. The first question for the day is, how many times per week do you skip breakfast?
Never.
Oh,
We don't skip meals at all.
No. That feels the day.
I love that. I want to be a person who doesn't skip, but I can't get my breakfast life together. So I love that. What is your favorite morning drink?
Yeah.
I really love a iced vanilla latte, half sweet, oat milk, light cinnamon. Oh man, it just hits the spot.
I'm boring. I'm a black coffee or a English breakfast tea with honey. Very boring.
Okay, that latte sounds really good. What is your morning routine?
We both have kids, so kind of chaos right now, but I try to get up an hour to an hour and a half before my kids and like get my act together. I usually do 15 minutes of yoga if I can get up on time, and then try to get everything prepared for when the kids get up, get myself dressed, get my mind right, and then get the kids ready and go about the rest of the day. But it's not perfect every day.
Oh, I have a 6-week-old, so I'm not really sleeping currently.
When is morning?
I don't even know what hour it is. But overall, I just get up, get ready, brush my teeth. I love that first feeling of just having a nice, clean way to start my day and get things going by starting breakfast and get the kids fed, get them dressed, and then take my daughter to school and then head to Pure Barre.
Okay, so even with all the chaos, because I understand that, if you had time to add one thing to your morning routine, what would it be?
In reality, like if that's not like a time crunch, if I could just have an unlimited amount of time in the morning, I would actually love to go on a morning walk with my husband.
Yes.
If I didn't have kids.
Yeah.
I would probably want an extra few minutes to maybe do like a little bit of meditation or journaling or something like that you see all these people on Instagram doing. I'm always like, that looks nice, but I don't have that much time. I'm lucky to do yoga. So I would love a little more personal reflection time maybe.
Yeah. I don't have kids and I still can't squeeze in the Instagram meditation. It's just like, how does that happen?
And all those people are real people. I'm like, do you have like real life?
So let's jump into your brands for just a bit. If you were to describe your brand in 3 words, what would they be?
Okay, so I would say it's very encouraging, very inclusive of all fitness levels and all people, and uplifting or encouraging. That's 4 words, but maybe encouraging. So that's what we aim for.
Our motto is lift, tone, burn. And so for me, like I want to stand proud by those brand words. So I do agree with Susanna. It is an uplifting and inclusive community, but it also does, like you really do, you lift your muscles, you tone your muscles, and you burn them out. So I'm really proud of that motto.
Okay. Speaking of being proud, that leads to the next question. When you consider your business as a whole and all that you all have accomplished, of what are you most proud?
For me, the compliment that we receive that makes me feel the most proud is when someone tells me you have the most kind, encouraging environment. When we come in, your staff is wonderful. Everyone who comes here welcomes me and makes me feel included. To me, we're really proud to have kind of cultivated that environment there where everyone feels instantly welcomed. And then honestly, I'm just proud we're still doing this after 5 years, 6 years.
I would say that I'm the most proud, truly, of specifically, if I could pick one thing, it would be our team. We have an incredible group of women who work for us, who treat our members the way that we would want them to be treated. They treat our business as if it's their own business.
Absolutely.
They care, they're passionate. We're very lucky to have a staff that comes in every day putting their best foot forward and leading, with the best type of intention and purpose daily.
Agreed. Yeah, take her answer over mine.
Okay, do you all prefer phone calls or email?
Phone. Can I say neither? Typically,
I like a phone call just because I feel like it, and this is in everyday life. Like you send a text, and you can just interpret tone wrong. And so for me, I would like for people to hear from us specifically, knowing that any sort of, change in a policy or compliment or just a heads up, that everyone realizes that we're always speaking in a kind tone and that there's never anything that could potentially be misconstrued.
yeah, texts are sneaky and also can be overwhelming for me when you have so many texts.
Yeah.
So I prefer in person. Personally, I like to see people's faces, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Are you all digital planners or paper?
I'm digital, and my friend here, I'm going to answer for her, is paper. So we get the best of both worlds.
Yes.
Okay. So next, which would you prefer? A quick chat over coffee or a deep dive over lunch?
We're probably different there too.
Coffee.
Lunch.
Okay.
So I like breakfast food better, but I like a deep conversation. And she's always got more things to do than me. She got to go somewhere.
What are 3 things that are always on your grocery list?
Mine's kind of embarrassing. It's literally every kind of milk because no one in my house will drink the same milk. So we have almond milk, oat milk, 2%, and whole milk. And I have to buy them twice a week, every week.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Going back to the very first question about skipping breakfast and morning routines, I always have bananas, bacon, and eggs. I do a full breakfast spread almost every morning. Almost every single morning.
You left that out of your morning routine.
I know. I'm so sorry.
Angelica, that is super impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we do like bacon, eggs, oatmeal. My husband does avocado toast. Then I've got to get breakfast going for my firstborn. So, and then that could be like what, a Pop-Tart and something else to argue about. I don't want the Pop-Tart. I want the cereal. And anyway, breakfast is big at our house.
So what is it like, you guys, working as a team?
It's never dull.
No, it's never. I cannot imagine doing this any other way. And one of the things that I respect so much about other small business owners when they do this by themselves is I feel like for me, that would be very hard and lonely because even if we agree on most things, just having someone to bounce it off of and have a conversation with is so wonderful. So I would say it's really great. We've also, like, backstory, we've known each other since we were like 5. We've been friends a really long time.
Our parents went to school together. Yeah. So we go way back.
We go way back. And so our relationship, I think, is a little bit more unique than some business owners, whereas we have more of almost like that sisterly bond of we can argue things out and then we finish it and we're done and we move on and we go back to business. So
I wouldn't even say that we argue. It's more just like, let's debate it.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think? And it actually really helps being able to put something into a different person's perspective or put something into someone's shoes that like maybe I didn't think about that she thought about, vice versa. So I think working as a team truly makes us stronger as a business. And also just even for our staff, seeing the two of us work together, I think it gives us different perspectives and different roles of leadership.
And we have very different strengths. And so that has been very beneficial to us.
Okay. So if you guys weren't entrepreneurs, what would you be doing?
You do.
Well, my background is in medical administrative management. So I would probably be managing a healthcare clinic. I do have experience in a couple different clinics from that. And I truly enjoy the management perspective. I'm passionate about health and fitness. So for me, I mean, maybe would just be operating in a medical clinic.
And for me, I have a background in medical sales. So I worked in surgical sales for about 10 years, and in sales before that, before we did this exclusively. And so I would probably be back in the hospital, back in surgery. I love the like crazy fast pace of working in surgery and working with people who are really, really passionate about what they're doing. So I would probably still be doing that. I might do it again one day. Who knows?
Never know. Okay. What is one of the greatest life lessons you've learned so far?
You want me to answer this one?
Sure.
I think one of the things that has resonated with me a lot recently is in this world that we live in, everything seems to be a comparison game, especially with social media being the way it is. I feel like particularly as women, we're constantly comparing ourselves to someone else, like what they have, what they're doing, what their home looks like. And so I read something recently, and I wish I knew who said it because it was a really good quote, but it was all about how you're constantly looking at the woman across the room and thinking that this woman has everything and her life is together and it's easy for her and she's got the confidence. But when you flip it around, you're the woman on the other side of the room for her. And so I loved hearing that because I thought it was just a really great way of just putting yourself back in perspective of being so thankful for what you have and not worrying about everyone else and just celebrating everybody's individuality.
Okay. I love that.
I thought it was cool. Sorry, I didn't even, you have anything to add?
Probably for me, when you grow up as a little girl, you always think like, oh, when I get married and have kids, I never really thought I would do that. And I did do that. But after having children, I feel like I'm able to put myself into other shoes. I feel like I was maybe cold-hearted before, I just didn't have as much patience for people, like, gosh, get there on time, or people would show up late or something like that. And I'm like, can you not like get it together? And now I'm like, oh, you spilled something on the way here, like take your time, 10 minutes, not a big deal. Like I feel like I've gotten able to put myself into other people's shoes and really just give people more patience and understanding.
It's like the same as mine. Like it's honestly like overall like that we're all just doing the best we can do. Like just give people grace. We're all just doing the best we can do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What's a vacation spot you would love to visit?
Dubai.
I have no idea. Just take me anywhere. I'll go. I'm in.
Okay. How long are you typically on vacation before you're ready to come home?
With kids or without kids?
Give us both.
I think with kids, I probably like to no more than 4 days. Like leave on a Thursday, home by Sunday. I like routine, so I'm ready to hit Monday, hitting all of the things that I need to do. But if it was just me and my husband, I think after like 5 or 6 days.
I am a 4-night girl. My perfect trip is always 4 nights. If you have to go really far, you can add in a night or two for travel or whatever. But 4 nights is always like, okay, we had a good time. Now let's get home and get back to it. With kids or without kids.
Okay. What's your favorite nightcap?
Ice water. Big old cup of ice water.
I drink tea at night, herbal tea. Yeah.
So if you all had to let people read your mind for one day or not speak for 48 hours, which would you choose?
Oh, I would have people read my mind because I feel like it'd be pure entertainment, pure chaos, like all kinds of questions and symbols and fireworks going off and my true thoughts. But I am a very blunt, direct person. So I feel like a lot of my mental commentary would not be surprising to some people.
I would just not talk for 2 days because I feel like my mind is very chaotic and people would not understand what was happening in there. But I also don't mind, like, I really like alone time. So 2 days of just not talking sounds kind of fabulous. So.
So what do you guys think your clients love the most about Pure Barre?
Honestly, I just think the fun atmosphere. Because some days it's not necessarily about working out and doing that checklist. Sometimes it's just like, you just want to see your friends and that accountability buddy. And, at Pure Barre, for the most part, we've got really great high energy music. And so like being able to just kind of, while you're working out, head bop and, you're singing a song here and there across the room to one another. I just feel like that just kind of makes it fun and light.
Yeah, I agree. And we have a lot of variety in our classes now too. So I feel like that interests people in coming back all the time. But I agree. I think that it's the consistency of just that alone time in a positive environment. It may not be like you could go run a marathon that day, or you could come to Pure Barre and give 30%, but you might have more fun and a little more consistency coming and seeing your friends. So,
Okay. So I hopped on the website to look at like your schedule and everything, because I now want to try bar. Found that there are a few different types of classes. So what is your favorite class to teach?
I am just the moodiest person when it comes to this. Like, it just totally depends on what kind of mood I'm in. I love teaching. Honestly, I love teaching. Like, end of story. I love teaching. I love encouraging people. I love showing people what they're capable of and like getting them to that point. So like for me, I love all of it. But like some days I might wake up and I'm feeling a little bit more thoughtful, slower pace. And so then teaching our Align class, which is a little bit more stretching and mindfulness, then that's like my pace. But then some days if I've had 2 coffees, like I'm ready to come in and do some cardio. So I don't know that I have a favorite. I know you have a favorite.
Oh, I have a favorite. My favorite is to teach Empower, which I feel like might not come as a surprise to anybody. It's high energy, it's fast. I don't want to say yelling. That's not the word that I want to say, but like you can definitely present the material in a more enthusiastic manner. And I love the high energy of it. I love after a series hearing everyone just breathe like, oh, that was hard. It's done, but I did it. Yeah. So for me, Empower.
Okay. Why do you all think it's important to be physically active?
Oh, for every single reason.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's so good for your mental health. It's so good for your physical health. I mean, we talk about it all the time in class, but like working out it has basically 0 to do with what you look like and 100% with what you feel like. And then the aesthetics may come, but it's just so good for your heart. It's linked to a longer, healthier, happier life. It's linked to better stress management. I mean, moving your body when nothing else is working right just gets you in a different place. So I think there's a million reasons to do it.
Okay. So favorite season, summer or winter?
Winter.
Okay. If you had it your way, would you prefer to sleep in or rise early?
Rise early.
Is this with or without kids? Like, I keep going back to that.
But like, is this my real life or my imaginary life?
I know, because I love to sleep in. I can't sleep in anymore, so I do wake up early. But now that I have 2 kids, which is a new adjustment for me, like I have actually really enjoyed waking up earlier to have the house to myself. It's new because I'm not necessarily a morning person. I'm not necessarily a night owl person anymore. I can't really stay up.
You've changed a little more. I've been an early riser my whole life.
She's always up at the crack of dawn, which I've always admired. But like prior to kids, like, ooh, I would love to sleep in until 10. Like I would stay up late and I would sleep until 10:30 and start my day at 11. Whereas now I'm like quit 6:45. Like that's late.
Okay. If there were one piece of financial advice that you would give to small business owners, what would it be?
I would honestly, if you can manage it, to truly pay your staff well. Not that money brings happiness, but it just with inflation and I mean, you can't even like go to McDonald's anymore for under $10. Like that's not a dollar menu anymore. And so being able to know that you can provide your staff with a little bit more money to have a little bit more funds just for whether it's self-care
or to what they're doing.
Yeah, and just like feeling like what they're doing, they are getting compensated fairly for it. So
at the end of the day, your small business truly comes down to the people that are inside your doors running that business for you. And so we really try to value that as much as we financially can. And I would also say if you're able to pay off all your debts as quickly as you can and pay yourself as minimally as possible so that you can then run your business without that stress hanging over your head.
Okay. What is the toughest lesson you all have learned in business?
We joke about it a lot that we just have a lot of tough lessons. I think that in working for yourself and working with your best friend and working in small business, there's just always going to be something else new that you've not had to overcome yet. And so one thing that we joke with each other is we always say, like, never say it can't happen. Because if you say it can't happen, then it's going to happen, like the most bizarre thing. So just being open-minded and flexible and just willing to just keep on going.
I would say whatever like handbook or policies that you have, like stick with your policy, enforce your policy, be consistent, don't play favoritism. and just really trying to execute all of your rules and stand by them. And of course, like if you need to make addendums or changes, like as a business, you have to evolve. And so being able to know that like, okay, this policy is clearly not working for us. How do we make an adjustment to this? Or, oh, this was a little too loose. Let's tighten this up. So that way,
yeah, being willing to grow and change and just take things as they come
evolve.
and not think that you're always right. Like just because there was a policy for this, like something happens, like, oh, let's look at it. How do we change it? So
that's good advice. Okay. This next question, you can apply it to your personal life or your business life, completely up to you. But what do you hope to accomplish in the next 5 years?
I guess for my business,
Angelica wants to go on a trip without her children, apparently.
I'm going to Dubai. I'm going really far. I guess from a business standpoint, truthfully, maybe just hitting more of a market that hasn't really been exposed to Pure Barre and really trying to include all areas of the city as Huntsville is growing. You know, not just staying in South Huntsville because we are in South Huntsville, but being able to be accessible to all areas of the city and hitting, you know, different age ranges and getting that exposure to people that are wanting to get into fitness, that maybe are hesitant to get into fitness. We do a lot of complimentary pop-ups around town and just, you know, spreading the word that like Pure Barre is a safe space and getting that exposure.
Yeah, completely agree.
Okay. What is your best advice for a bar beginner?
Keep coming back. The first time that you come, no matter your fitness level, if you, like I said, run marathons or you've not done anything in years, the first class can be a little bit intimidating and a little bit overwhelming just because everyone else knows a little bit more than what you do. So continuing to come back, at least for whether it's a couple weeks or 10 classes or a month, just to notice the change in your body and the change in your strength and overcome that. Angelica and I both didn't want to come back after our first class because it really kind of humbled us.
I didn't come back for 6 months after my first class. I was like, that is terrible. And then I was like, you know what, let me go back and try this because clearly it was really tough and I needed to take the challenge.
Yeah.
So, and I haven't stopped since.
Yeah, I took my first class and was so stubborn and competitive at that point that I was like, well, I got to come back tomorrow because I was terrible at that. So now we got to get better. So I think just like giving yourself the grace to like not be great at something at first, but to keep trying.
Okay. What do y'all find is the reason that people typically decide to try bar?
Gosh. I think luckily for us, I will say our brand in general across the nation does a really good job of brand awareness and showing people what Pure Barre is. And so it sparks some of that interest. But then a lot of our network of who are at our business right now is a lot of word of mouth, because a lot of people who are so passionate about coming to Pure Barre and they come and they take our classes, they want to bring all their friends because they're like, well, everyone needs to come and experience how fun this is. So I think that's probably, do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just being consistent so that people want to be there.
Okay. How many times per day do you check your email?
Almost every time I check my phone. I hate seeing those notifications. People that have like 300,000 emails. I'm like, how do you live?
That is not us.
And I love that with an email though. It sounds like I'm being psycho, but like customer service is huge. And so I respond to emails as quickly as I can. So like I might look at an email and unread it, whereas like a text message, you can't unread a text message.
You can. I just learned.
Well, you can, but like I don't.
It's not the same.
It's just not the same. So anyway, I constantly check my email because as my number increases throughout the day, I freak out.
Same. I like to try to tackle things as they come. I'm not gonna I try to also have time away from like being on my phone at all times, but I'm on it often.
Okay. If you could take one task off your plate forever, what would it be?
I would never blow dry my hair again.
You don't really do it now.
I have to blow dry my hair. Yeah, it's just you're literally standing there putting air on your face, and then you get hot, and then your arm burns out, and you can't hear anything, so you can't even like really watch a show.
Your hair probably takes like 4 hours to dry.
I have so much hair, but anyway, and my hair really does dry fast for the most part, for as much hair as I have. But oh man, blow drying my hair! I want to know how many years of my life I have spent blow drying my hair for the sake of beauty.
Mine is dishes, but I am fortunate. My husband always unloads the dishwasher because he knows that it's like my most cringy thing. But I always load it, and I don't want to wash the dishes in the sink. I don't want to wash all the things after we cook. Like I just want them to be clean. I don't. That's yeah.
I appreciate that you do dishes, and you're more green. You're not just like throwing a paper plate away.
Yeah.
So I do respect that.
What's your fondest memory as a kid?
I was thinking about this one.
I don't necessarily have a specific one, but Susanna and I both spent our lives dancing at a local studio here in Huntsville, and it's no longer in business. But one of my favorite things that I did growing up for my entire life, same with Susanna, is we participated in the Nutcracker. And so I really love Christmas time. You walk into Bath and Body Works, you walk into the mall, there's always Christmas music coming on, and you hear just like the music from the classical Nutcracker suite. And it just really takes me back to a place where like I feel like dance is kind of what gave us the foundation for being a lot like really passionate for Pure Barre. And so for me, just like thinking about dance in the Nutcracker is just really something that's very fond to me. I spent years and years always hoping to like be the Sugar Plum Fairy, and we both got to play that card. And so it was just very special to me.
I think that I'm gonna hijack yours because that's a great answer. My first thing is I'm a middle child, so I have an older sister and younger brother, and we just love to just give my parents all kinds of chaos at our house. We had so much fun at our house growing up, so I have a lot of good memories of just being a sibling. But then I agree with you about dance. I think that maybe that's kind of why we gravitated towards a business that is so community focused, because we grew up in a community of people who were interested in like working on these same goals with us and being involved in the arts in the same way as us. And so that really gave me a sense of purpose growing up.
Okay. What is your favorite restaurant?
Little Rosie's. Hands down. I went there by myself yesterday. Like,
And it has been forever.
I have been going to Little
Yes.
Rosie. Like, I don't know why I'm not the spokesperson. So
I don't eat out as much as Angelica. Angelica really supports local businesses, let me tell you. But I go to Good Company a lot. I would say it's kind of like my Cheers bar. Like I like going in there because they know what I order and they talk to me, and it's just a really cute little local business. So I would say I go there probably the most often.
Okay. So tell me your favorite dish at these restaurants.
honestly, at Little Rosie's, I branch out. I normally am, one for getting the same thing when I go to a different restaurant. When I go to Little Rosie's, I'm sorry, I'm not really answering your question, but I'm going to hit it. I love to get different entrees there, but what is the one thing that I always get with every meal is white queso. I love me some chips and queso. And their queso, it's consistent, it's good, it's just
You should be sponsored.
I know. Coming at you, Little Rosie's.
I'm so boring compared to you. I order the veggie frittata at Good Company. It comes with toast that has this apple butter that I eat, like the whole little thing of apple butter they give me, and I just love that. So, but I'm like not as much of a foodie as you. She gets real excited about stuff.
I like study the menu, like when I'm going someplace in 2 weeks, and she just walks in and is like, "What's good here?
What should I order?
What's vegetarian? What is?"
Yeah. Just put something on my plate that doesn't have meat. I'll eat it. Yeah.
Angelica, I love your food passion.
Oh, it's strong.
Okay, what is your guilty pleasure?
Oh, I love the Simply raspberry lemonade.
I have just learned this about my best friend. That is so random.
I love it. It's so good. It's straight sugar. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with sugar, but like, oh man, it's like tart with sweet. Then you put it over a big old cup of ice. Oh,
I am
so
not
good.
a lemonade person.
I'm really not either per se, but theirs is so good.
I like dark chocolate. We're just
I do like dark chocolate.
Okay. What do you all do for self-care?
I don't want to be cliche when I say this, but honestly, just going to Pure Barre, being on maternity leave and being pregnant, I really miss having the time to step away from the community and step away from taking class. And I actually just took a class yesterday and one last week, and it was very humbling getting back into Pure Barre. And I was just like, man, this is hard. This is challenging. This is great. This is rewarding. So honestly, for me, I really truly love my Pure Barre time. I did think that I did as much as I did because I was doing it so regularly, and it's kind of like one of those things you take for granted.
Yeah.
And as a studio owner, like you always have to be on. So it was really, really nice getting back into the studio and having that moment for me. And I love it.
I will say same for me. The Pure Barre community and our staff is really wonderful. So if we're having a moment where we're like, we just want to be a person for a second, like I'll walk in sometimes and be like, can you just not ask me any questions until I'm done working out? And then like, then you can ask me anything you want, but like, let me just have a moment. And they're wonderful about that. And then I read a lot. That's like my other kind of like
reading,
decompress.
Yes. We're both big readers.
Okay. What is one of your pet peeves?
Oh, people who are not responsive. Easy.
That.
Easy. It can be my mom not responding to a text message. I'm not like hating on anybody in particular, but
She does it to me all the time. If you don't answer her text fast enough, she'll put an exclamation point on it.
Yeah, when it says red on your text message, I'm like, I know you saw that.
For me, it's timeliness. I have learned that is, I probably take it too personally, but to me, like just being on time and being prepared and not taking advantage of someone else's time is like a massive show of respect to me. Which has been, really also interesting in getting married and learning that that's not how everybody feels about time. Kids don't do anything timely. But I think it's important, or it's a pet peeve of mine. If you're going to be late, not at least giving some kind of heads up or some kind of like notice.
Okay. What brings you joy these days?
Oh, okay. So I mentioned earlier, lemonade, yes. Okay, so now, as I mentioned earlier, that we did dance together, and growing up, that was a huge aspect of my life. My daughter's about to turn 3, and we put her in dance. And at dance class, we haven't been able to watch her, just so that way she can create her own independence and like learn to listen to her instructor. But 2 weeks ago, we were able to go into the class and watch the class. And watching her dance, like that's why I'm a mom. That's why I'm a girl mom, because seeing her dance and seeing the joy that she had while she was moving her body was truly like one of the most rewarding moments of my life. And so I hope that is something that she continues to do throughout her life. But watching her dance.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of things that came with the season of being a mother that showed me joy in a different capacity than what I like kind of probably defined it as originally. And so there's so many things about being a mom that have brought me joy, but then also, and I know I sound like very cliche and probably annoying, so I'm sorry, but teaching Pure Barre truly brings me so much joy. When someone tells me like, I didn't like working out until I did this, or I didn't think I could do it until you encouraged me, like that makes me feel like I'm truly like living in my purpose and doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay. What's one misconception people have about barre?
They always think it's going to be ballet and dance, which we haven't talked about dance, but you do not have to have any dance training. You don't need it. It's not necessary. There is a ballet bar around the room because we use it for balancing and some other movements, but you are not going to be in there doing like tendus and pirouettes and like running across the room. And so I think that can be intimidating to someone who doesn't have any training in that sense, but totally unnecessary.
I hate to kind of dive into this, but honestly, what drives me nuts is people thinking about body type. Like, let me lose weight and get fit before I come to Pure Barre. And I'm like, it is not about how big or how small you are. It's not about body size and types. It's more of just get in there, walk through the doors.
Yes, when people say like, I didn't want to do Pure Barre because I don't look like the people that come to Pure Barre, I'm like, well, then you have not walked through our doors, because we do not look the same. Our bodies are all different. Our backgrounds are all different. You can come in here from any walk of life and give it your best shot, and we will teach you how to do it in a way that works for you. And so I agree. I hate when people say that. They're like, oh, I had to get skinny first to come to Pure Barre. And I'm like, that is the opposite of the whole point.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna say I am glad that you all mentioned that as a misconception, because maybe I have been guilty of that too. I'm not gonna say for sure or
You
not.
appreciate your honesty.
Well, I can honestly see where like that is an intimidation factor, but really like to me, whenever somebody who's brand new that comes in through our doors, the first thing I tell them is the hardest part was walking through the doors. You made that conscious effort to look into it online, to download the app, to get in your car, to looking at our schedule and making that designated time for you to walk through the door. And so for me, the biggest misconception is whatever, like she said, whatever body type or stage in life that you're at, walk through our doors, give it a try. And if it wasn't for you, like, you know, if anything, we definitely want to know that like you made a moment to take for yourself and you left and had a great experience.
Okay, a moment ago, you both mentioned that you are big readers. What is the last book you read?
I've read so many terrible books lately, so I don't even really want to admit it. The last book that I read that I would recommend was Viola Davis's memoir. I think is it called Finding Me, maybe? I read that one probably like 8 books ago, but the last 7 books I've read have just been garbage. And her book was phenomenal.
I like to read, and I agree with you. I actually just read a Colleen Hoover book. I've read several of her books. I don't remember the name of it, but what I do remember is Dark Places.
That was good.
I did read that. That actually like really stands out to where I would recommend for somebody to read.
Okay. What's the last movie you watched?
Aquaman 2.
I don't know if I've watched a movie in a year.
I watched it in the last decade. Susanna cannot stay awake. She just falls asleep.
If I stop moving, I'm just like, whoa. So no one wants to pay to take me to a movie. My husband doesn't want to watch them with me because I'm boring. So yeah.
I'm a big like Marvel and DC fan. So if anyone wants to talk to me about some comic book hero movies, like I'm your girl.
She's a big movie person. You're a big movie person.
Yeah, I did. Actually, did you watch Barbie? You watched
Barbie? I did watch
Yep,
Barbie.
watched
Okay.
Barbie.
I went to Barbie with my sister and my niece, and that was very good.
Did you doze?
I fell asleep for at least 20 minutes of it. Yes.
Consistent.
Yep.
I got you.
Thank you.
The worst advice you've received?
I will say, in working in the corporate world and in our generation that we are, I feel like the mentality has always been, you just get it done. You work, you uphold all your responsibilities all the time. And this isn't necessarily advice, but more just like a cultural kind of movement. And I really appreciate that people are stepping away from that and starting to take more time to say, like, it's okay if you don't get everything done. It's okay if you take a moment for your mental health or don't get everything marked off your list. And so I think the advice or the pressure that we were under in our careers, especially in the early years, of just like work yourself all the way into the ground until you've got nothing left, like that's bad advice. Because at the end of the day, we get this one shot at being happy and being successful, and you have to find that balance.
What is something that people would never guess about you?
Oh gosh. For me, I know mine. People do not really think that I'm an introvert because I am not shy and I am very outspoken, but I am such an introvert, and like a lot of what we do as our career is often outside of my comfort zone, even though I love it and I do it. And so I think people are very surprised when they realize I'm not necessarily as social, or I spend a lot more time alone or at home or with my family than what they think. I don't know. For you, what is it? What's a surprise? I was surprised about lemonade.
I've been really on this huge lemonade kick lately. Oh man, something that people would never guess about me.
That you're an only child. No, I'm just kidding. People would guess that.
I am an only child. Gosh, I don't know.
I'll speak for you. I think Angelica is so like direct and professional and just like very good at like getting things accomplished all the time. I don't think people realize truly how like compassionate Angelica is. Like, I think you get the reputation for being the more businessy of the two of us, but I would say like, I don't think people really realize like how much like feeling you really put into everything that you do, because you just keep it so like,
well, you have to be level-headed, and because I am direct, I'm direct in a kind manner, but you know, sometimes people don't accept constructive criticism, not even just like our employees, just in general. So I never want to offend anybody, but I also want to get my point across. But I have compassionate feelings. I think that
soul.
I do. My soul is a lot brighter than people might give me credit for. But I think also being a mother, like I said, as I mentioned earlier, being able to put myself in other people's shoes, that I do that a lot more than people realize. So thank you for helping me with that.
Now, Angelica, are you an introvert or extrovert?
I'm an extrovert. However, as I'm getting older, I feel like I'm slowly becoming an introvert. Like I like that fear of getting invited now. Whereas I feel like as a young teenager, I was always going to have FOMO. And now I'm like, oh man, am I going to get invited to this? Because I love being at home as I'm getting older. But overall, like I can talk to a wall.
Okay. What makes you the happiest?
I love when there's nothing on my to-do list because I'm such a psycho that like when there's stuff on my to-do list, I just can't do anything else until I get things done. And so if I wake up and like no one expects anything of me for the day and I can just do what I like need to get done, oh man, that's a great feeling.
This may seem really silly, but as a foodie, I get really excited when my daughter will try new foods. I'm like, almost every day, I'm like, do you want to try my oatmeal? Do you want to try my oatmeal? Please try this oatmeal.
She also
It's
gets
really
you get
good.
excited
And I get
when-
really excited when she wants to try something. So just being able to expand my daughter's food palette makes me really happy when, you know, you as a parent of a toddler, the art of negotiation is real. So
I'm not great at it.
I know that sounds really silly, but it
Yeah.
does make me happy.
Yeah. Food and
Okay, so you both have lots going on. Do you ever get bored?
No.
Mm-mm.
I would love to be bored for a day, please.
Well, when I do have like a moment to be bored, I like to create. And so that's like kind of like my creative time. Like maybe I'm writing, maybe. So like I feel like in the busy seasons that we don't really have a lot of time for it.
No.
Okay. Do you prefer online shopping or in store?
Opposites here.
Well, you know, I normally would say in store, but again, like as a mom of two, I'm finding it's a lot harder to find the time to go out and shop. And I have recently discovered, and this is not a sponsored ad, but I have discovered the Target pickup. That is incredible. It is life-changing. It is a game changer. New moms out there, get on that Target pickup. And you can get a Starbucks too. Like that is genius marketing. So
I am an online shopper, but I do try to online shop locally because I don't want to completely like negate all that. So I do try to like order stuff online from local stores and go like pick it up or whatever. But I'm also not a huge shopper in general. We're kind of spoiled because a lot of the things that we would shop for, we sell in our store. So
Oh,
we take it home with us.
okay. So because I want to know, what's the last thing you bought?
okay, so I was clearly just pregnant, and so I didn't really buy any clothes. But while I was pregnant, we sold this Lululemon sweatshirt, and I finally got to wear it. I got it while I was pregnant, and it was like having a Christmas gift without the batteries. And so I finally was able to wear this sweater the other day, and I was just so happy.
Yeah, I got a new tank top the other day before I taught. I like walked in and I was like, I don't like what I'm wearing. I'm buying something, and I got a new shirt. And then other than that, I have bought a lot of Easter things off of Amazon for my children, and a couple things from like Little Cotton Shop.
Oh yeah, I love coffee, and I like going and trying other coffee places. So I've actually been like kind of doing like a coffee trail hop.
Oh yeah, you
so
just bought something.
I just tried a new coffee. So I do like to support local businesses in that capacity.
Okay. Night in or out?
In for me, but now being a parent, I do enjoy a night out more often than I feel like I used to because you're getting away and it feels more of an escape now. But for the most part, I go to bed at 8.
Night in.
I'm not kidding. Like I'm
I like to go out. Like let me go out to eat, but then go home and be in.
Okay. What's your favorite affirmation?
I listen to a lot of different things and different affirmations. Currently, I would say what's resonated with me is that whatever you have to give today, whether it's 10%, 80%, 60%, Like whatever you have to give, that's your 100%, and that's enough, and that's okay. So trying to remind yourself that like you're not going to be absolutely at the top of your game every single day, and that's okay.
I think mine is don't sweat the small stuff.
That's good.
Okay. What is your most recent TV binge?
Currently The Office.
I don't know that I've watched any. So lame. I watch SVU, and I haven't binged it because it's coming out each week right now. But I'm not very fun, y'all. I don't know.
Okay. So we are down to our last 5 questions, and this next one is very important. Socks or no socks in bed?
Socks.
No! Oh my gosh, seriously? No socks. I mean, unless it's freezing outside, and then I do have some like little woolly ones, but gross, no.
Yeah, I need the socks.
Okay. What is your current favorite trend?
I'm really jealous that it is now socially acceptable to wear tennis shoes with your nice clothes. Like, wouldn't our feet all be different in our generation if we could have worn tennis shoes out to all the functions we went to in college and younger? Like, I'm all about a tennis shoe with a dress.
This is a trend that I want to be a part of, that I am not a part of, but let me get there. So the sourdough trend. Everyone like has been like making sourdough bread and sourdough this and that, and I'm not on it.
Cool.
It seems very intimidating for somebody who like has never really like gotten into that, but I love to cook. Cooking and baking are very different, and so that's a trend that I kind of want to get into. But like I feel like when I look at Instagram at people's stories, it seems like everyone is baking nowadays. So I'm like, let me get out of my cook comfort zone and attempt to bake.
Okay. What is the best part of being featured in the Scout Guide Huntsville?
The networking with other people who are working towards the same type of goals as you, who have other great ideas, other past experiences. Like, we love going to the events and getting to talk to people. It's also really fun when they do your picture and they make you feel very, very glamorous. That's always nice.
Honestly, the ability to be recognized, like just taking the time today with you has been really special for us. Just because maybe somebody listened to us and they got to feel a little bit more of how we feel it about our daily lives and about our brand, and really just trying to bring that inclusivity.
Okay. What would each of you say you feel like is the top benefit of Barre?
For me, the longevity of it, because it is low impact. And so the top benefit, in my opinion, is you can start this when you are 16 years old and you can do this until you are done. I mean, it is just a workout that works for your body your entire life.
I would agree. Yeah. Probably maybe just community. I know we talked about that a lot, but the power of accountability and the power of friendship, I think is just astronomical to keeping yourself in a good and healthy state of mind, and also reap the benefits of the physical.
Okay. This is a question that I think about often, so I wanted to ask you all, in what ways is your life the way you imagined it would be?
Probably just, I remember my dad always encouraging me, like I didn't know what I wanted to do. And, you know, when you go to college, you don't know what you want to do at that time in your life. You're very just, I don't know. And dad was very encouraging me to become a business entrepreneur. And so now that I own a business, I never really thought that I would go that route. But now that I do own a business with you, like I can't imagine not owning a business or not being in business for myself. So,
yeah. I think my life is honestly like so much better than I could have ever imagined, because all I ever really wanted, I had no idea what I wanted to do. All these people that had grand ideas very young, I really didn't. And all I knew is that I wanted to find something that I was passionate about that I could do day in and day out, and getting to do that and getting to do it with my best friend, getting to have a family at the same time, finding all this happiness with that. Like, I think it's so much better than I could have imagined.
Okay. And our 55th question, what do you want your legacy to be?
So I jotted this down because there's a couple questions I was like, let me not mess this up. So when I jotted this down really quickly, the 4 words that came to mind for me were kindness, forgiveness, joy, and authenticity. Like if someone remembers me one day, I hope that they will remember that I was authentic and I was kind and I was always willing to forgive and move forward, and that I lived life with joy.
I guess my legacy, I'm going to gear this one towards the business. And I would say that I would like for somebody to have known that like they came into Pure Barre, took my class, felt welcomed, felt challenged, and that they felt like I was a good instructor, and that I was able to help just create a successful and welcoming environment.
Yeah, I guess from a business standpoint, just bringing people to fitness that didn't think they could do it. So yeah, I make mine sound stupid now.
No, I mean, I like that you have personal, and I went a little more business.
Yes.
We're very a yin and a yang, and so
Right.
that is what really works for us.
That concludes our 55 questions with Scout Guide Huntsville, featuring Angelica and Susanna of Pure Barre Huntsville. Ladies, it was an absolute pleasure having you. I love that I was able to see you two blossom over the 55 questions. So this has truly been a pleasure for me.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much
We
for your
really
time.
enjoyed this.
This was nice.